Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another FANGIRLZ Assemble at our regularly scheduled time.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. We're back.
We're here.
And we are, for those of you who are new here, there's nobody new here. We're in the middle of a One Piece read-through because we started a challenge in January to read all 1,000 chapters, and we failed, which is fine.
It was
because we are taking our time.
It was a lot. I'm so glad we didn't finish it, actually, because I feel like I'd be quite burned out at this point.
Yeah, I agree. And so I would rather, like I said before, I'd rather you enjoy it and take your time. Mm-hmm. And it'll help you to make sure you catch stuff. So instead we're breaking it by arcs, and I mean larger arcs. So we're talking Water 7, which includes that includes, unfortunately, Long Ring Long Land, which is dumb. Water 7, Ennis Lobby, and then post Ennis Lobby. So they go back to Water 7 before the next shebang. So that means next month, at the end of next month, will be we'll do Thriller Bark, which unfortunately we should have timed this to do Thriller Bark in October, but it is what it is.
So that's quite far out.
But before we do that, we have to talk about where you can buy some One Piece manga. And you can buy it from our lovely sponsor, InStockTrades.com, where you can get all your books up to 50% off. And if you spend at least $50 in the US, you can get free shipping.
The best.
And Kristan, tell them about our pick of the month that's still up until Tuesday. Or longer, because it's...
Well, it's X-Men Evolution. And we're so excited because if you ever watch that cartoon, we're obsessed with, and we were obsessed with, and I guess still are obsessed with. Mm-hmm. It's 50% off. It's very cheap. What is it, $6 something?
Yeah. It's cheap.
It's very cheap. Throw that in your order to get your free shipping. That's what you should do. And I'm sure you can find tons of... You know what? If you guys need recommendations for other things you want to get there, let us know during this. We'll let you know. We'll tell you some stuff. But that's one of them. And it's going to be a good time.
I love these comments. I made it here in One Piece. One Piece works best after 20 years of decompression. And Paul is joining us even though he hasn't read One Piece past the first chapter. He is fine with me. Finishing up Dressrosa in the anime right now. Nice. That's a long one. I caught up as Dressrosa was finishing. So that was my catch-up point. But I'm going to watch this because it's my favorite arc in the series. Same, Jesse. I just love Water 7. I love a lot of them, but I just...
Can you explain to me? Maybe you don't have the answer. You probably do. You have the answer to all this. But because we were like, oh, we're going to do arcs. I was like, okay, cool. And I looked up the Water 7 arc, and I had this conversation kind of the last time because I was confused. I'm like, wait, they say it cuts off within a few chapters, and then it's this and this and this. How do I know what all is? So I had to ask you before, and I'm kind of now I'm like, okay, I need to write down what Thriller Bark includes, because everything online is it's this arc and this arc and that. I'm like, what?
Okay, so luckily, I have opened the onepiece.fandom.com/wiki/story arcs.
That's where I went to, and it did.
Yeah, so it's a little confusing because it also puts in there when it says filler arc, that's in the anime, not in the manga. So and I just go through the columns. So the Water 7 column. But Ocean's Dream and Foxy's Return and Boss Luffy Historical Special are all filler, and that's just in the anime. Won't be in here. So that's why it can be a little confusing.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't help that I was looking at my phone. Because you're saying columns, I'm like, I didn't see columns.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And luckily, Thriller Bark is significantly shorter.
Okay.
It's from chapters 442 to 489.
Okay.
So that's a lot less than this.
Okay, cool.
But the Summit War is way longer, so we'll have to break that one up because, it may not be too bad. We'll see. It might be we'll break that up into 2 parts because that's long.
Okay.
Thriller Bark is its own thing. It's a shorter arc compared to the stuff prior, the stuff after, yeah. But it's so fun. It's the best.
I'm 1 volume into it, and it's a good time. Yeah.
Yay, Halloween time. So Kung Fu wants to know if you cried.
I don't think I cried at any of this, to be honest. It's sad, but no. Sorry, Kong. It's all very sad.
I feel like it's harder to cry about this than it is watching the anime because you have all of the like crying and the music and the everything
Right.
else. Because like I'll have to figure out exactly which chapter. There's a certain thing in Thriller Bark that I will not let you read first. You have to watch it first.
Okay.
I need to figure out which chapter that is because it's just so important that you watch it.
Okay.
And there's a song involved, which is make you cry forever.
I guess all the songs so far, like the sniper theme song.
The theme songs are great too. Like, man, I love it, and I love all the theme songs. And it's even better that once you learn them and you go to Japan, you get to go like the One Piece, Tokyo Tower, which is gone, or like Sanji's restaurant because they play all the songs, and you're like, this is so cool. Oh yeah, when Mary asked for some help for the one last trip, so good.
I miss Mary already.
I know. So I guess I don't even know where exactly to start with this because there's a lot. But I guess we can say like start with what are your impressions of what was your overall feel of this like arc from like getting to Water 7 to Enies Lobby to returning to Water 7.
Yeah, even whenever before we got on, I was like, man, I gotta remember what all was in this because I feel like it went on for a very long time.
It's pretty lengthy because they, they're on their way there and they meet, I always forget like the older woman and Chimney. Always remember Chimney's name because I think she's hilarious. And then they make it to Water 7, right, which is kind of this intersection. It's a big boat hub. Not very pirate friendly, and it's all like on water, so you travel with the little like seahorse looking guys who sound really funny in the anime, and you meet Iceberg and his crew, and you meet CP9 and the Frankie family, which are hilarious, and you also learn more about Robin because you know that there's a connection between her and CP9. And she feels like she has to leave the crew.
That's certainly the stuff that like I remember the most, which I'm sure is why Kong is calling me heartless for not crying. But like, I mean, it was all sad. But I think you're right. If I was watching it, it would be like a different experience.
But Robin's backstory is like 4 episodes.
I loved learning more finally about Robin because I feel like she was just kind of thrown in. It was like, oh, she's there, she's an enemy, but like, is she? And now she's here, and it's like, okay, what's her deal? And I think we've gotten a lot of that. I'm kind of looking forward to when some, like, I don't know, I feel like there's been a lot of like, okay, here's the character, here's the backstory, now you're sad, and and now they're the crew, which is great, but then it's kind of like, okay, now they're on the back burner, right? We did this thing, and now they're over here because we're gonna do this other thing, right? Which works, but I'm kind of looking forward to it all being kind of there and we don't have to keep doing that. And then they're more like cohesive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that part of that is like, because you're building up the crew. So, you're so close to the quote unquote final group. And then you just get to really spend time with all of them doing stuff together and seeing how they play off one another, which is great. Downside is you're going to be without the crew for a long time, but it's good. Okay. I was going to throw a damn fit. It's good. But yeah, Jesse's right. Oda always brings it all back.
I believe him.
Jesse, when Luffy tells Sogeking to burn the flag, literal chills. Also, everything Sogeking's movie. And then Robin yells her dream to her friends. I'm Frankie at that scene. I just love the like, I want to live part.
Yeah, it was really great.
It gets me. Really great. I guess we can talk. I guess Robin's backstory is a good place to start because I don't know if Robin's backstory is so big and important to everything, and I wonder if that came across to you at all because it's stuck in the middle of this bigger thing where they're fighting CP9. And that takes a while, of course. But like Robin's backstory and her knowing about the poneglyphs.
I was gonna say, like, she has this thing that like nobody else has. So I assume that was a very important, because they cared when she was a kid that she could do this. And so I expect that to come back quite a bit, or at least at the end, right? I mean, or something.
Well, yeah. Because like all of that's about that 100-year span of time or whatever that we can't talk about, that no one's allowed to talk about, no one's allowed to read about. But she knows, and she can read things from that time that nobody else can read. Oh, man. Ooh, and the giant.
Oh, the giants were so good. I just love all these like goofy characters you meet that have like the biggest heart, and you feel for them, and then you're kind of like, oh yeah, I want to know what they're doing, and you say one day we'll know what all these people are doing, which is awesome, because you get just like little glimpses, and they're like, oh, you care about me? Okay, bye. Like, oh
No, absolutely. And that's like one of the good things about this is that even though you meet so many characters, because you really, I mean, they're traveling throughout the world and you still have everybody's backstory characters too, some of which don't live on, right? Like Saul. Daddy, she. Like, but there's so much to them. He does such a good job of giving them so much character. All of them, like between like Saul the giant and then the two giants, right? That you meet in Ennis Lobby that are related to the two other giants that we met chapters before with Usopp. You know, like beautiful. And even like the big seahorse guys or whatever have their own emotions. And it's very emotional. And it's hard to even like figure out where to break it down and talk about.
Yeah, it's making me start to think that I need to start taking notes when I read this stuff, because I'm like, okay, so much is really packed in, right? And it's kind of like when we started this, I'm like, I didn't realize how much, because it, you know, I hate to keep comparing it to Chainsaw Man, but I think that's a good baseline, right? Of like, here's One Piece, and you got a lot going on, even though it's like goofy, but also you feel things, but there's a lot, and it sticks around, and you have to remember these things. Versus this Chainsaw Man nonsense, which is nonsense in a great way. And you're going to be fine if you don't. You know, it's just like, it's totally... There's levels and layers here. Not so much here.
Yeah, yeah.
So it makes it more difficult to be like,
huge
okay.
Game of Thrones level world building.
Yeah.
So I guess a good question is, you know, so I know where a lot of this is going because I'm only like 20 chapters behind current. 20 episodes, 20 chapters. That's it. Okay. So right now, leaving this part of it, are there any like theories or questions you have?
Well, clearly, okay, so we meet Luffy's grandfather and dad.
How do you feel about them, by the way?
Clearly, okay, it's reading this in 2021, especially, right? Dealing with his grandfather just being the most abusive, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Is horrific, kind of. It just makes me feel bad. Like, and you know, you feel for him. And come on, it's like Luffy's stupid, but he doesn't deserve this. It's just like, yeah. So that was rough, and I felt bad for him. But he was also like, "You're my grandpa, so okay, I'll take that." And it's like, no, man, you don't have to take this. What's going on?
And then you've got Dragon, who just abandoned his kid.
Yeah.
It's the shonen protagonist like curse. Like Hunter x Hunter is the same way.
Yeah.
And we all know Goku's the worst dad ever too. Like, not even, well, actually, he's not the worst dad. The Hunter x Hunter dad's pretty bad. And then Dragon, and the thing is, Dragon is still mysterious to me. And I'm almost to chapter 1000.
Do you see bits of him again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see a lot of his...
learn a lot.
Yeah. You know a lot of his compatriots and all of his crew that he's with. You see Garp a lot. I love Garp. Just because he's... I guess what's great is that like you've got Luffy as a pirate. You've got Dragon, who's part of the Revolutionary Army, which is kind of anti-world government, but not the same way pirates are. And then you've got Garp, who's literally part of the Marines, who, you know, is obviously against his son and grandson.
It's like, how did this happen to this family?
Yeah, and you get to learn a lot more because, like, you're trying to think of how does this all come together. But he's still such good people, too, which is really interesting and hilarious. He's definitely Luffy's grandfather. But, man, Dragon, I don't... they don't have a lot in common, it feels like.
I feel like...
leader... Everyone Garp raises becomes a notorious outlaw.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, there's no way. So, especially if you don't know a lot about his dad, like that has to come back at some point and be something, right?
Yeah. And it definitely is. And they all have the D middle name. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep pointing it out forever. But now that you know, you'll see it. Like, wait a second.
Do we know more about that now? I'm just going to keep asking you, what's happening in the present?
Kinda, we do.
Okay.
But we don't have all the answers yet. James, yes, we do. Yes, we do. The theories about who Luffy's mom is are hilarious. Because there's a character, eventually, that you'll meet, whose devil fruit allows them to change a person's biological sex. So it means that literally no one is off the table of being Luffy's mom, unless they are younger than Luffy. Anyone could be Luffy's mom.
That's a good point, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So there's people with like the string on the wall trying to connect all that.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people joke that Luffy's mom is Crocodile. That's been like a real theory. Like people really...
Wow.
Which,
Okay.
no. Okay. Let's see what else. So I guess Frankie, the other new crew member, we can talk about.
Your favorite.
My favorite. Oh, Carly, there is a de-aging devil fruit, actually. And that's my pick for who Luffy's mom is, but we'll wait until Kristan meets her arc after next. How do you like his whole... what do you think about Frankie so far? How do you feel about the way he joins the crew?
I love how he's very much like Chopper and Usopp, and he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he doesn't care to like... He's this like big Speedo guy, but doesn't care to show that. And I love that. I think we needed another one of those, right? Because they're like, that's like my favorite reactions that everybody has. So he's lovely. I love that he doesn't wear pants. Just, and the way he came onto the boat and that whole, where he literally isn't wearing pants was hilarious. And it was also funny because like I had my iPad at like work reading it, and then he didn't have pants on, and you don't see anything, right? But I was also kind of like, I was like, nobody look at what I'm reading.
Gosh, it's so funny in the anime too. It's like we're gonna crush it. We're gonna squeeze them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that the continuous bit of they kept doing, and I was like, oh, they're going there. Like, yeah, that was.
Oh
really
gosh.
Robin's like, I stopped already. I don't know what he's going on about.
They're so in love.
Yeah?
That's my OTP.
Okay.
Forever. Even Oda. To me, they're the only OTP. They're only like real one. Oda says they're mom and dad in the crew.
That's cute.
Which I see.
I like it.
Yeah. I think the reason why I really fell for him is not just the whole pompadour and whatever shtick, but I like how emotional he is, but I also like that he takes care of people. So he's okay with looking like he's the bad guy and always coming across that way to make sure that he's taking care of those people. So like his Frankie family, people that no one would have taken care of, he did and wanted to forever. so much that they had to force him to leave, even though he absolutely just wants to build ships and do this because he has such a huge love for that. And he owes it to Tom, right? Oh, so cute. My man. And he continues to be lewd. Like, everyone just calls him hentai. Like, they're like, you're such a pervert. Like, but he's not like a pervert in like that sense. He's not like a Sanji creepo or like another character you're gonna meet.
He's like weirdly wholesome, right? At the same time.
Yeah, he's super wholesome. He's just weird.
Yeah.
He's the American. Like Oda says, like that's the American character.
I can see that. Definitely.
But it's such a good point because like I feel like by the end of this, you have a crew that's really solidified. Because like Robin's happier now. She was happy before, but it was a different happy, right? It was sort of just like there's just Robin smiling through everything, but it's that fake dead she smile.
I mean, she's getting by, right? But now like there's more of a purpose.
She's got a family because she's had no one. She's had no one forever. She only got to see her mom like once.
That was horrible. Oh. That was maybe the worst part of the whole thing, right? Like, especially when her mom came back and there was the.
And she's like, "Wait, are you my mom? Like, let me go with me. I'm like I'm an archaeologist too, or whatever. I forgot what the term was." And she's like, "No, you can't. You can't say that." Ugh. It's so Nico sad. Olivia is the fucking coolest, and I will forever be disappointed that she's dead, I guess. But we don't see a dead body, so One Piece, no one's ever dead unless you see a dead body.
Okay.
Nami's mom, dead.
Like any soap operas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, because soap operas are anime, right?
I mean...
And comics.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, that's the rule for One Piece. You don't see a dead body, they're not dead.
Interesting, okay.
And some people do die, and it's their fucking fault.
Oh.
I think.
I love that.
Many fangirls disagree with me. But we will get there. No spoilers for Kristan. She doesn't know.
Okay. I'm like, now I'm interested. What are you talking about?
You'll see in the arc after next.
Okay.
Plus the cool hair. That's what Frankie gets for trying to save her. Like Hong said, Kristan, make sure you remember the captain who gave the order to blow up the ship with survivors. Yeah.
Okay.
Very important. A lot of these CP9 people come back.
Yeah, I figured.
Cool too.
I'm like, you're giving me maps of these people's ranks. I feel like they're probably going to come back.
like the shittiest guy, I always forget his name, but the one with the elephant sword.
Oh,
He unfortunately comes back. And a few of the other CP9 characters come back. Some of them you see in the movies, like the guy with the bird. And yeah, the guy in Robin's backstory comes back to Aokiji.
I like the bird guy because that was just fun.
His bird always changes outfits too. He's in One Piece Film Gold, I think.
Okay.
Again, whenever you have a day off or like we can actually choose in person, like I want to watch the movies with you because they're great.
I would love it.
They're so fun. Yeah, Spundum, yeah. Yeah, because you haven't met Ike. Oh yeah, I guess Akane was there too. Man. Me being behind, not knowing what's going on, I feel like that Kiki Palmer meme. I don't know this. I don't know who this man is. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember everything that happened because I did, like I told you, I think a few episodes ago. That certain fight at the end, though, before we even got to the lobby, I believe. Look,
it's very long.
It took forever. I was still interested and I still am enjoying myself, but I was also like, when is this gonna end? This has been 107 chapters of this fight. Like,
yeah.
You know.
And that can be a downside because this is the last time there's going to be a big all-out fight, which, you know, is a bummer. The good thing about some of the other ones is that they throw in some other things in there because there's like more at play and you kind of learn as you go through the big fight. But yeah, it's a lot.
That helps break it up. I mean, I like that. But yeah. I'm just
and you don't have all hands on deck either, not really. For this one, I felt like because you're kind of waiting for the rest of the crew to be, either make it there, Usopp, or sorry, Usopp wasn't there. Soge King. I'm so sorry.
I still did we ever, okay, so when Usopp finally came back, came back and Luffy's clueless, did he ever become not clueless? Because I don't think he did. I was trying to remember that, and I'm like, no. I don't think he ever figured that out, which is kind of hilarious.
Luffy's so dumb.
I love how every confusion moment he had about that, they would cut to Zoro, and he'd just be like, why doesn't he understand this? This dude still doesn't get this. What is happening?
Zoro and Usopp's dynamic I really like, because it's just a lot of Zoro making fun of him, especially when other characters don't really get the joke a lot. And so forever, even when one posters change, which is also a big deal, which seems silly, but when one posters change, everyone's like, okay, what are the new bounties? Okay, what exactly is the text say? What pictures do they use? Okay.
Which, speaking of, the drawing of Sachi, he was so mad about it. It was awesome. I love that.
There's a bit. Oh gosh, it's so good because he's so full of himself. And I guess the other big part of this whole thing is while they're fighting CP9, they're also discovering new techniques, each of them, which is a big deal. Going forward, because they all have to learn how to use hockey, not hockey, but hockey to do stuff. Yeah, that's why I was thinking about Jesse. That face. I won't ruin it for you. There's a really good bit about that face that is phenomenal. I think he kind of did near the end of his fight with Lucci, but he was also delirious from blood loss and could barely move.
That's right. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
I love how when we talk about this, there's clearly a divide in terms from the show and terms from the manga, because I will see things in the chat or you'll bring up something and I'm just like, that's not how they put it in the manga, but I guess that's how they put it in the anime. And so that's throwing me off a little bit. Even going Mary, right?
Yeah.
It's that's Marigo for me.
Oh,
that's what I know, So I'm that must be an interesting, I keep noticing that when we talk about it.
Yeah, because I one of my best friends, and it's hard for me to not use anime vernacular, but one of my best friends, Robert, he had never watched One Piece. He's only ever read it. He's very much a manga reader. And so he didn't know people's what color hair they had or their outfits and stuff. I was like, no, this is this person. He's like, wait, what? Or any of the filler. Oh man, if you ever just need something to watch, I do recommend checking out some of the filler episodes, because now that you've read it, you can go back and just catch some of the random ones. But there's a really good one when they come back to Water 7 after Enies Lobby, where Zoro has to be a babysitter, and that's the whole episode. He accidentally finds this kid, and he ends up helping the single mom and all of her million children doing stuff. And he has this crop top t-shirt. And he's just carrying this baby. It's really good.
Oh, that sounds cute.
It's really cute. And then there's the Chopper Man stuff where Chopper's a superhero.
Oh, that's fun.
And Usopp's the villain. The thing where they're all old women going to the grocery store and fighting each other, where they all have old women perm haircuts.
I love it. I need this.
I love One Piece filler. I really do. For the most part, except for Foxy's Return. I know other people like it. I hate it. It's they play a game and stuff. I hate it. I hate Foxy so much. They kind of drag out certain things to fill the 23-minute runtime. They do. That is true. Some of them. They do Dragon Ball does.
Of course.
But granted, this anime has to run every week forever, just like the manga does. So for years and years, every week. And so the animation can be really janky because
they try to pump them out. Yeah.
Yeah, every week, which is wild. I wish they could do that with other anime that I want to keep watching, but That's okay. Hayden would like to talk about.
Oh, you want to talk about this?
Your T-shirt.
Yeah, it's the aliens as all the characters we know and love.
It's so cute.
Thank you.
Well, man, for all that reading we did, I feel like I should have more to say about it.
I mean, I feel the same. I feel the same, and I know I do. I think it doesn't. It also doesn't help that, again, I don't know. I don't. You'll have to send me the website that I'm supposed to be looking at for these arcs.
I will. I'm going to
still
text you.
Confused by it, and I thought that's the one I was using, but maybe not.
What we need to do is watch like the arc recaps before shows every time.
Oh, that sounds fun.
That's probably helpful.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think.
So I'm trying to think of the other big things to talk about, but like, it's even though a lot happens, it's still not that much compared to other arcs.
For sure, and spreading it out has been really good, but it's also been like I'm reading all this other stuff while I'm reading it, right? Which probably doesn't help my brain.
Yeah, probably not.
You know.
Jesse said, I really like how Zoro put his foot down about Usopp.
Yeah. That whole return scene was great too, because when he was being kind of like himself and how he is, and I was just like, oh man, you're not getting back on there. If you keep being like that, you need to just apologize. And then he finally did, and it was like, okay, that was great. And he was crying so much. And I love how he got back, and Luffy was like, yeah, man, come back. That was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was needed for sure. Like, because that was rough right then. Like, I was watching it before, like, the first time. Like, at that time, a lot of people don't like Usopp a lot. They really don't like him. And usually Soga King is the thing that, like, makes people come back. Like, okay, it's fine. He's funny. But yeah, like that, and then Usopp burning the government flag. Like, he really... I like seeing how Usopp progresses. Because he's one of those characters, like, everybody else can progress normally. Like, Zoro is always going to get stronger and stronger. Sanji's also going to get stronger. Nami's going to figure out how to use her new stick from Usopp better all the time. Things like that. But, like, Usopp's an interesting one. Because really, his biggest, like, enemy is himself. And he always has to, like, get over his own cowardice. And he does it in a neat way. And, like, the way that he makes friends with those two giants. Like, if he can't defeat things normal way, he finds ways to talk to people, make friends, and do it in a creative way, which I've always really appreciated. Because that's where his lying helps.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I can see why maybe some people wouldn't like him, but at this point in my reading, he's had the most growth out of all the characters. Because, you get the backstories for everyone, and they all go through their own thing, but you're right. Like, he's got a whole different battle he has to do, because he can't really battle well, right? So he is battling, like, himself the whole time.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, this Jesse brought how this arc ends with the Ace and Teach stuff. Also, Shanks and Whitebeard have a meeting too. I wonder how that feels for you, because that's sort of like you're getting some bits and pieces of other characters, but you don't really know them. Shanks, and technically 3 out of the 4 for sure.
Yeah, I'm ready for like him to actually be a bigger part of this, or Luffy to run into him. Has that even happened in one chapter? That like, do we get that before then?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he does run into Shanks, because Shanks is like later on, and he's like, I'm not going to go easy on you. You know that. Because Shanks is one of like the big 4. Mm-hmm. He rules the ocean. But Luffy wicked runs into Ace and Teach and Whitebeard. Mm-hmm. A lot. And Teach we're never get rid of. So, but a lot of us are waiting for the big fight between Luffy and Shanks, because a lot of us feel like that's going to be a big. I think that's a big thing that they have to have, because not like a negative one. It's more like, hey, I know that you want to be king of the pirates, but you're my bro. We are shonen characters that have a deep love for one another. I'm going to have to kick your butt. And then Luffy's like, I'm going to kick your butt. Oh, he and Shanks have yet to meet. I thought that they did. It's so much in my head. Anyways, they're going to. But Oda has teased stuff from this year, yeah. We're getting close to the end of this arc, so. Of course, Oda's also like, it's going to be done in 5 years. Whatever. Sure.
And you're like, no, man.
How? How? Wano was 5 million years long, it felt like, being caught up.
I love how we're reading this, but I do look forward to being caught up so I can understand everything more. You know what I mean?
I'm excited too, because like there's so many little pieces here that I can't really like talk about. All I can do is be like, pay attention to this thing.
Remember this guy? It's like, I'll try.
Yeah. But I'm excited. Like, I think Thriller Bark's going to be a nice little vacation because you do get another crew member, but a lot of it's kind of just for fun. Mm-hmm. It's not all super, super important.
So far, it's just a blast of nonsense, which I love.
Oh, gosh, I wish we were watching it.
The whole time I was just like, oh, I should be watching this because I can just tell. I want to hear these voices, right? I want to, see the animation and the colors even. I'm just like, I bet this is like a fun.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thriller Bark is it just looks really cool. Everyone looks cool. And there's a popular GIF where like this zombie comes out of the ground to like get Luffy and he just like looks at him and then pushes him back in the ground. And it makes me laugh so much. And you get to meet some great characters like there's this little witch girl you're going to meet, that little ghost girl that I have so many figures of. And she also has a dumb laugh because they have to. And hers just like, hold on. Stupid. So stupid.
That's fun.
Oh no. I always saw Luffy run with Buffy. That's okay.
I see that, like, I've seen several people reviewing One Piece lately for the first time, like on YouTube. And they all say Luffy, and I'm just like,
Luffy,
okay, I'm glad I know this. Like, but if you're just reading it, like, how do you know, right?
Oh yeah,
no, I get it.
We like to jokingly call him Luffy D Money instead of Monkey D Luffy. It's fine. I mean, they wrote Zolo.
That's still, when we talk about him, like, I gotta remember that that's not his name because I read it so much, right? It's like I'm not even experiencing Zoro. I just know that.
Weird. It's so weird.
I just think it's weird that when they realized the mistake, they were just like, it'll confuse people, and I'm like, no, this is confusing me. What do you mean? This one is. Just change it.
Man, I'm so excited to I need to go through this. I need to go through chapter by chapter with Thriller Bark so I know what episode to tell you to watch. I'm going to have to remember. It's so important. I'm so excited for you to meet Brooke. Oh, man.
I mean,
he's so silly.
I've met Brooke so far.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Duh. He's so silly.
I love it.
And his outfits just get more ridiculous. Oda loves playing people with the L and R letters. NL versus NRU. Yeah. It makes it complicated. Especially for One Piece fans all over, because like I've made friends that just read manga, I've made One Piece friends that just watch the dub, and we're all confused together when we talk about stuff. But I've met so many wonderful people through One Piece. Like I met this family of girls who they were doing like a One Piece panel at MomoCon. It's like a trivia panel. And so I went, of course, even though it was like at midnight, because One Piece diehard fan. And they talked about their journey with One Piece, about how their mom, like she was losing her sight. And so they would watch the dub together as a family. And that's why they only watch the dub. But like her mom's a super fan too. And they all watch it together as a family. It's so cute.
Oh.
So I've just been cosplaying it ever since. They go to the One Piece convention in Florida, which is super fun. You would love it. It's great.
Is there just the one?
Yeah.
I mean, in the States, I guess.
It's really low key too. So it's like official. We just it's like there's really cheap hotels that we stay in, and we have like cooking contests, and everyone is like put on a different pirate crew.
Oh,
and you
that's
get to
fun.
compete against each other, and you get to go on like an actual pirate ship,
Oh.
and we hang out around the fire on the beach. We play the Foxy games that are in the stump filler that I hate.
that you hate.
And it's just cute. It's really cute. True. The 4 Kids One Piece rap is undefeated. Chopper's Doctrine. LADY, Nami's not shy.
I love it.
Well, I guess we talk about other stuff.
Oh, well, speaking of Chopper, though. So we got to experience him going like full feral, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to call that. Like, is there a mode you call that he gets to? I don't know.
It's just one of the points, I guess. Oops.
Which was like so crazy to watch and interesting, and it was like, okay, you're not all there, right? Like you're gone, and that was really fun.
Monster Point, yeah, the big guy.
Mm.
Yeah, he has a long way to go with figuring out how to control those. He'll get there though, and he does a cute little dance as it. Because like,
I love how they're like, 50 berries for that pet.
always, it's so low, and everybody else's is so high for his poor bounty.
Oh,
poor Chopper. I think at one point maybe Usopp has one of the highest ones, which is hilarious.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Oh man, but I'm excited to join Thriller Bark with you and the other arc because that's one of the last times everybody looks normal for the time skip. Because post time skip, you'll learn to love it. But Oda did. The boobs are so big post time skip.
What happens in the time skip to make them?
I also feel like
so
Robin
big?
is a little bit wider. I don't know. It just feels. But I still love her, and I have like a million figures of her. But
weird. How much time are we talking?
Well, the characters are away from each other for like 2 years.
That's weird.
You're going to see why. It makes sense. But it's good for me to warn you so that when it gets here, you're like, you can be prepared.
So this is the point where you said you were like losing it, right?
Well, yeah, because I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it and be like, okay, well, how long do I have? And like, oh, it's going to be a bit. And I was like, what do you mean?
So do you
Are they
follow
okay?
still?
Yeah, a little bit. So I don't know how it is in the manga actually, because in the anime we get like an episode for each one or something like that. So you get to see what they're doing, but you don't get to really dig in, which is a bummer because some of them I'm like, I know you know things that I didn't get to see you do. I know. Yeah, but it's Luffy centric for like a long time. But it's worth it for some characters you'll meet. 2 of them are very gay. 3 of them are very gay. Well, probably more if you count all the ladies. But anyways, worth it for them. Because I thought it wouldn't be. But by the end of it, I was like, it's okay. Yep, 3. She'll understand that eventually.
So we're talking
those episodes aren't in the manga, but we do see them. So I'll send you those episodes when we get there.
Okay, yeah.
We're
talking
fun.
like a lot of chapters then.
Yeah, because that whole arc. So they get separated like towards 513-ish.
Okay.
And they're back together 598.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a bit, but it's cool. It makes sense. And you get more Luffy backstory and stuff too.
Gotcha.
Just when you think there can't be any more backstory for anybody, they're like, surprise.
Like, here's more.
Where's Frankie's? They just found him. The child of pirates. Which pirates? Who are they? I still don't know.
So we haven't even gotten all that.
No, and they may never tell me, but like, I have my theories. I think they work with Dragon on his crew. there's these two people there that I've seen multiple times, and I don't know why we think that they're Frankie's parents, but we're just trying to find something. Or like, who's Robin's dad? I'd like to know that too. That'd be cool. I think Nico Olivia could be alive. I mean, you don't see her die.
Okay.
Maybe she's still alive. Who knows? That'd be cool. Oh yeah, it's at least 140 episodes for one arc in its entirety. Yeah.
Wow.
Chopper's bounty doesn't even cover the cost of to become a doctor. Luffy can't pay him in meat. He's got to eat all the meat himself.
Luffy and meat. That's what I ship.
Jesse, I always thought the sumo frog was Frankie's dad. No. That's funny though. We'll see. Maybe his dad is secretly that like that really important inventor that we still haven't met. Almost 1,000 chapters in. Anyways, so I've been watching High Rise Invasion because Kristin has been talking about the manga forever.
Yeah.
And I want to read it really bad still because I feel like I'm curious how it'll feel differently.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, it's still pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, those masks are like, the masks alone are just kind of creepy, right? So you put that on anyone, which you see on a lot of different people. And then they have a murder weapon of some sort.
Yeah,
and you're on top of
Battle Royale.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you described it the first time, because you did a good job of not saying too much about it, I was like, oh, so she's at the top of the high rise and she's got to get to the bottom. That's what I heard in my head. It's like, oh, there's people on every floor and she's got to get through there. But it's so much more than that. And like, I don't even know if it's just like a purgatory deal. And I only think that because it kind of reminds me of Angel Beat, where just like the place looks normal, but there's something off. And I'm waiting for somebody to have or not have memories for some reason, you know?
Well, and
she just wakes up there and she knows her brother, but that's it.
Right.
And already she's like, okay, cool, I'll fight people. And I'm like, already?
She's not great at it at first, so she at least does like get some development there. But yeah, it's I was telling you before the show, I'm like, because when I started reading, I was like, this is stupid. And then I got to the end of the first 2 and 1, and I was like, I gotta know what happens though. And I'm entertained, and that's what I need, right? So I'm too into it. Like, I really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to the anime to see if like it's gonna translate well, and if I'm gonna like that as much.
I want you to watch it so I can hear what you think about it, because I'm curious.
Yeah, I definitely will.
But so far, it's edited pretty cool. Like, it looks neat. Some of the dub can be a little annoying.
Yeah.
But
often
they can't all be winners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's real. There's parts of it that I'm still like, this is stupid. But I'm like, I'm entertained and I want to know what happens.
Oh,
and there's some of the characters that are really interesting.
It reminds me of like an older anime just because of like all the panty shots and stuff. Because I'm not against it either. Like I
am. I'm annoyed every time it happens. I'm like, why? Like, and you know what? The manga doesn't happen that much. Like, it happens.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's not like constant.
Oh, it's not constant, I guess. But like, I guess it's weird because like I would feel weird about that in like a Western comic. But I've grown up with like anime and manga, so like
you're used to it. Yeah,
it doesn't feel weird. Like there's times when, I guess because people aren't drawn overly sexual. I don't know how to describe it. So like, I see a panty shot, I'm like, okay, whatever, pervs. But then there's other anime, like, I'm trying to think of like super pervy anime, like Monster Musume or stuff, where it's like, okay, this is fan service times 10. I understand what's happening. And you're like a little uncomfortable the whole time. This, I'm like, oh, classic anime. Just some panty shots in here. Oh, classy. It's a classy amount of panty shots. And luckily, no one's been too pervy except for that one guy. So
Yeah.
they got him. But I like it so far.
There's a lot of murder. Just
A lot of murder.
Tons of murder.
It makes me think of like a few different video games that like I wish I could have you play, like Danganronpa. More like battle royale stuff. People wake up, they don't know why they're there, and they gotta kill people, and they don't really have a direction.
It is very much like a game too, because she's like, okay,
Yeah.
I know I have to like at some point get out of here. But yeah, even when like you learn when they go down into like they can't get to the bottom level ever. And what's down there? I don't know. Like
probably nothing. Carly, do you know if Angel Beat is a manga too? Maybe somebody can look it up, because that I'd like to recommend to Kristan, because that is a very it kind of gave me Angel Beat feels, except Angel Beat is less like horror oriented. But like this kid wakes up, he's at a high school, and he's with other people there, and they have to fight this angel, but they don't really know why or like what else is going on. But also if they die, they just come back. So it's like a weird purgatory deal. But it's emotional. It's very emotional. But I think you'd like it. I watched it with Elliot not too long ago.
I'll add it to my ever-growing list.
Yeah, there you go. I put all my books away, and like my basement's almost done. I did more work on it. I put stuff up on the walls.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for you.
I know.
I want a picture.
As soon as it's done, there's still some stuff on the floor.
You're like, you're not allowed.
Oh man, have I read anything? Have you read anything since we last talked? Which wasn't that long ago.
Let's all check Goodreads, shall we?
I haven't read anything, but Mary is reading Venus in the Blind Spot.
Ooh, Mary. I just saw that at the top of my feed too. Awesome, Mary.
And Carly started reading More Teen Keeps Breaking Up With Me. Just me like creeping our mails over there in the chat. I see that you all are reading this.
That's funny. I read last night. I read Comey Can't Communicate Volume 5. You would really love this.
I need to read it. I know I'll
You're
like
gonna love it. Yeah.
Once I have money, I'm gonna do a splurge. I need to read my books that I have, probably.
Oh, I'm forcing my library to buy this for me, so it's been great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I should, but I need to return my books first because it's been a bit. Like, it's been a bit.
Do you guys have fees there?
Yeah. But they're not bad, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we have them here too, but the city I grew up in decided like a year or two ago to like no fees. And I'm like, that's what they should all do for a lot of reasons, but it makes me less stressed.
Yeah. Well, I finally, because I moved during that, but I finally found them all.
Good.
Oh, Carly's liking it so far. Laura Dean. Good. The art's so good. Oh man, I really want to read The Adoption.
Oh yeah, me too.
I only saw it because Bobby read it. I really, really, really want to read it. But I love stories about adoption a lot.
Yeah, it looks
like
really
I want to adopt eventually. Like my mom raises my nephews. Like it's always been that kind of.
Yeah.
So any story like that, I'm like.
Yeah, it does look like I'm gonna cry at it too. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm ready. Kristan, have you read Sad Religion by He Who Must Not Be Named? How was it?
You know, Reed Chancellor, I'm gonna name him.
He's a cool guy.
I have read it and I loved it, and I don't have to just say that. I have to say that every time I say that because it's true. I would tell you if it was garbage. It's not. It's great. It has been funded on Kickstarter, so you should check it out. Currently still going. The campaign's still going. You can still get this book. And it's great. I mean, look at this. Come on. Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know what's going on here?
Absolutely.
It's wonderful.
For sure.
So check it out, Sad Religion by Reed Chancellor on Kickstarter now.
And there's still some really good tiers. Like you can get a commission from Reed too.
Very reasonably priced. Yeah.
Very reasonably.
You can get soundtrack. Good times.
That's the tier I did.
Yeah.
Speaking of Reed, so technically, according to WandaVision now, the Aquabats are canon in the MCU because Yo Gabba Gabba was on the screen.
That's right.
Which is made by the Aquabats, which means the Aquabats and Ska are canon in the MCU.
That's pretty great. Not to mention Malcolm in the Middle is also a part of the MCU, which is wonderful. Come on.
Love it.
Love it too.
Still loving that show so much. And I knew you would too. And I think you and I are both just TV fans, like old TV fans. Mm-hmm. So like, I love all of this. It's great.
Her bringing out like the trailer or the thing full of like DVDs and stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get this. That's cool. I like that.
It's very much my life.
Yeah.
I'll be sad when it's done because I really enjoyed all the theorizing everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's just fun.
Well, everyone's Mephisto.
Everyone's Mephisto. Duh. I have to review who's like an actual citizen of Westview or whatever to remember because I'm still thinking Dottie. You know.
I mean, it was interesting. Not that we're gonna. This isn't a spoiler, right? No. I don't know. When they show her like going into the town the first time in the last episode, they never show Dottie.
They don't.
They show like nearly everyone else. They didn't show Dottie. And I was like, where's Dottie?
Where is Dottie though?
Where is she?
I just want her to be there forever and everything.
Know,
so
right? Yeah.
It's just not gonna be as fun with like I'm gonna watch Falcon and Winter Soldier or whatever, but like
it's not gonna be the same, clearly.
No.
And I'll watch it too, but no.
Well, and I've never been a big fan of them. Like I think Falcon's cool, but like I'm not a Bucky person. I'm really not. And I'm gonna watch it and maybe they'll change my mind. Remember, I didn't like Star Wars until The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. If anybody can change my mind about these characters, I'm sure Disney can do it. They're gonna make a good product. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what they're gonna do with it.
Well, I think we're all kind of like, what's this show gonna be?
Yeah.
And to go from something like what we're experiencing now to that, I think no matter what they do, it's going to be a bit of a letdown. Just a bit, because you're like, oh, this is not what... I mean, it's on a whole other level, right?
Oh, yeah.
Than anything they've done.
Like, the what-ifs are going to be great. I'm really excited for those. Probably more so than the rest of the shows coming up this year after this.
Yeah, that's
because
be
what if sounds great, and I want more Peggy Carter always. And Loki will be cool. Yeah. I mean, if they can do the same thing they did with this, it'll be cool. I'm not I like Loki. I don't love Loki as hard as a lot of people do.
Right, all the time.
But I like him. Yeah, that's why I think that's why I have a weird anti thing towards Bucky. It's because I lived on Tumblr and.
That's fair. Yeah.
Bitches be going for Bucky though.
That's so true.
Bitches for Bucky.
Yeah.
Probably have t-shirts.
Yeah. That's a hashtag. Yeah.
I know, like, he seems cool, but I guess there's so much. It was like oversaturated. I was like, I can't deal with this guy.
I hear you.
Buh. The question I have: if Vision is half Ultron and Jarvis won't that make Tony Pepper Morgan Stark next of kin? How did Sword get his body? Who knows?
These are good questions that we may never know.
But I will be talking spoilers with Kristan after the show ends because I need to talk about how it could relate with the Scarlet Witch comic that we read.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about it here because these spoilers.
Gotcha.
But we are at the end of the show. So thank you guys. I'm really thankful you guys are even chilling with us talking about One Piece because some of you aren't caught up where we are. And so I appreciate it because I'm sure I hope it's entertaining for you. Because we intend to keep it going for the rest of, until we're caught up. So
the rest of our lives.
Yeah. We will be back next week with, are we going to do Rosa Versailles first or? Should we just say we are?
Well, next week will be Halls and Reeds, right?
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah. So
we'll be back next week with Halls and Reeds.
And remember our pick of the month. It's currently on IST until at least Tuesday. X-Men Evolution. It's like $6 and some change. Throw it in your cart. Get that $50 free shipping.
Grab it.
Yeah. Get some Rosa Versailles if you want. We will be reading it.
They're very pretty books.
They're beautiful. Check them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, and have a good night. Stay safe. You know, all that jazz. We
All
just
the
hope that you take care of yourself. Do some
Yeah,
self-care.
Be good to you.
Yeah, be good to you.
Yeah.